odds, props, and futures for tonight's action. Bettor Sports Betting wants to know what picks you're playing tonight. Tell us in the live chat on YouTube, Twitter, and the Bettor Sports Network app. This is Bettor Sports Betting with Fantasy Alarm's Dan Servodidio.
What's going on, everyone? Welcome in here to the Bettor Sports Betting Show on Bettor Sports Network and Fantasy Alarm. We got Howard Bender looking all cool today with his shades on.
Really? That doesn't break you? That doesn't break you? Come on,
you keep saying
man.
you're going to break me, and now I'm just expecting. I'm not going to be broken, you know? I got an intro to get in here. I can't be broken.
You're like a statue.
What's up, Howard? Thanks for joining me here on a Friday. We got the Friday of July 4th weekend here.
Friday, July 4th weekend. It's been a pretty good last couple of days for me on the betting front. The best bets for the last two that I did there, kind of inching towards the All-Star break. So I'm looking to really kind of put it together here for this final 2 weeks before the All-Star break, week and a half actually. Ready to go, dude. How about you? How you doing?
I'm doing well. The All-Star break is coming up fast here. We had the All-Star starters announced yesterday, which is pretty cool to see. Awesome to see, some of those guys get honored. The amount of, I feel like every year I say this with the All-Stars, but the amount of first half explosions that just in the beginning of the season, you did not expect to name them a starter, going into the season. So it's just awesome to see some of these first timers. And it's not like the old days where we have, A-Rod, Jeter, and, just the regular names every single year. It's nice to get some new blood in there. So, we got that coming up. But we have plenty of baseball picks for tonight. You mentioned you've been hitting on some. And, me and Grande hit on some yesterday. So we'll try to keep it going for tonight's slate. Pretty much a full slate of games. We got the Cubs playing in this afternoon game right now, winning over the Guardians. But it gets going early, 5:10 Eastern. We have our first game today. So right after we get off the air, we'll be having some baseball to watch. And I know Howard's got a pick for that game, so get ready for that. Let's dive into some of our top picks tonight for Friday's slate. What's your best bet for tonight?
Wow, man, there's so much I want to say right now. If you just want me to get my best, listen, for the All-Star game, by the way, I want to know what if managers weren't such, wusses about it and, limiting guys to playing time. I want the odds on Shohei Ohtani hitting for the cycle and throwing a scoreless
in the All-Star game.
In the All-Star game. Like that's the All-Star experience I definitely want to check out. So,
well, it's funny you say that because the 2 days ago, or was it this morning on the Bettor Morning Show that you co-host with the people there, Britt Coop and Corey Parson, there was a discussion of Domingo Germán throwing that perfect game and what's the best feat in sports. I feel like if you hit for the cycle in an All-Star game, right, and if he strikes out the side, I feel like that going against the best of the best in the sport is going to be tough to beat.
I thought that hitting for the cycle in the All-Star game would be absolutely tremendous, and definitely a tough to accomplish feat. I was dealing with all of that yesterday. That was fantastic. Definitely go back, you guys. Check out the Fantasy Alarm Show also on Sirius XM Fantasy Sports Radio. Use the on-demand feature on the SXM app, and you can listen to yesterday's show where we spent the entire show talking about when taking callers, just giving away draft guides and taking callers. For the greatest feat in sports that that you don't think many people do, or what's the toughest thing. Nevertheless, I've rambled on long enough here. I've stalled. Okay, here's my best bet. Let's see it. There it is. Thank you, Adam Bernard, our illustrious producer. Give me the Texas Rangers. First 5 inning. I'll take the run line. I wanted to take the money line, but I was a little too slow on that, and there was just way too much juice. I think it went up to like minus 190. But with the run line, I got it at minus 130, and I'm perfectly fine doing the run line here. I love this Texas lineup. There's so much to love about this Texas lineup. And it's not just that it's Simeon and Seager. Like Adolis Garcia is playing well. Josh Young, Jonah Heim. I love what Ezekiel Duran is doing right now. Hell, even at the bottom of that lineup, Leody Taveras is giving them a ton of help as well. And so, you got on the other side there, you got Ronel Blanco, 4.63 ERA. There's nothing really that exciting about him. He doesn't have dominant stuff. He doesn't have swing and miss stuff. So I think that the Texas Rangers just jump out to a lead. I think, you also have, you got John Gray on the bump for the Rangers. And, Houston is solid lineup. I don't ever want to take anything away from them. I just think that the Rangers just have more firepower and the softer matchup. First 5-inning run line there, they'll have the lead.
Yeah, I like that this lineup against Blanco here, who's had some issues, and I'll probably be going with a pick to tease a little bit later. I will be going with a prop or a home run call against this Blanco pitcher for the Astros because it's there's a number of Rangers hitters tonight that you could like, and you've mentioned this on the show before when we broke down Rangers team totals or the first five. Run line, money line, whatnot with the Rangers is that their offense just up and down the lineup. They get production from you went through it. Some of those guys like Heim and Duran, and it's crazy to see. That's what sets that lineup apart. Where there's not many spots where Blanco can kind of take a hitter off. It's just and all of a sudden at the bottom of the lineup you get runners on for like Semien and Seager. So yeah. I can get behind that. And you mentioned the SiriusXM fantasy show you are on. Go check out everything that Howard's been doing because he's a busy guy right now. He's on that Bettor Morning Show, the Cash It podcast right now up on Fantasy Alarm with him and Adam Ronis. So go check that out as well. Talking some fantasy baseball waiver wire and some little NBA talk thrown in there because it's a busy off season for NBA right now too, and I know Ronis is glued into that. All right, my best bet for tonight, and I think this is one that you might push back on a little, but let's see. I like the Twins on the money line, and I like them on the first 5 money line as well. Plus 100 on FanDuel for the money line there, full game. Slight favorites as the first 5 money line, but this is Pablo Lopez, who he's got a 4.41 ERA, has not been great more often than not lately, but his numbers say that there's going to be some positive regression coming here. A 3.11 expected ERA, a 3.29 FIP. He's got a low left on base rate compared to his career averages and a high BABIP as well. Just showed that he's been a little bit unlucky for what his talent is and what he can do. And I think that, some matchups, the Orioles are admittedly a tough matchup on the road here. But Lopez has a 2.94 ERA at home or on the road this season compared to a 5.94 ERA at home. So, I'm seeing those numbers. I think he can do a little bit better than what his recent performances have shown. But this is also a fade of Dean Kramer for the Orioles. 5.71 expected ERA compared to his 4.50 ERA right now. And a lot of if you go look at Kramer's StatCast page, which if you're betting on sports and looking at pitcher props and all that, going to a pitcher StatCast page can really tell a story. And there's a ton of blue. There's a ton of some dark blue on Kramer's StatCast page, which
like
is not a good thing.
Blue.
Yeah, some navy blue there,
Midnight
which is not
blue.
a good thing. Low, bad hard hit rates and barrel rates, all this stuff that just kind of makes it a little bit worrisome to trust Kramer, start to start. And then the last point I'll make before you can rebuttal here, Howard, is the Twins bullpen is in really great shape right now. They've had all their top guys rested over recent games. They like to bring in Duran for multiple innings at the end. He hasn't pitched for a few days here. I think they're going to have this back end of the game locked down, whereas the Orioles bullpen's just gotten a little bit more work recently. So I think the later innings is also an advantage for the Twins here.
I'll say this. Working in your favor right now is that after the sweep of getting swept by the Braves and scoring 3 runs in those games in total, 3 in total, 0 for 23 with runners in scoring position. All right, Rocco Baldelli held a closed door meeting. So listen, Baldelli, obviously was a player, played for the Rays early on in his career. He
Big
knows
fish guy.
he is a fish guy, which makes him even better. Like that definitely makes him better. And the fact that that's spreading to the team, like the only reason I like Byron Buxton is because I saw him wearing a fish shirt. So, but not that aspect. But like when a player turned manager calls that closed door meeting, that's wake the F up, get your heads out of your ass and start playing ball. So that, how they respond to that could be, really good. But, again, Pablo Lopez, he's got one win in his last 10 starts. That's rough. His hard hit rate, it's like 30, it's just over 38% right now. That's the highest of his career. Barrel rate against strong, also highest against him in his career. So he's not missing the bats like he should be, and that was one of the things that like really racked up his appeal basically. The other aspect of this also is that you want the strikeouts, you need the swing and strike rate, you need to miss the bats. And he's not doing it. And then to make matters worse, the O's just, a lot of good contact, from this team. So if the kids wake up and are kind of scared and, scared straight basically by Baldelli, then I think you've got this one. It'll be very, very interesting to see. I mean, I almost like, the first 5 innings, I would definitely, I could see that going, but like full game here, I'm still kind of leaning Orioles.
Well, I mentioned that bullpen factor has me more leaning to the money line rather than the first 5, honestly, because the fact that they can bring in Joan Duran for multiple innings at the end is something that, like, even if they only get 5 or 6 good innings from Lopez, they can use guys like Duran and Griffin Jacks too, that they like to use at the end there to lock down those later innings. It just has me a little bit.
If you're bringing in Duran, that means you're saving the game for Pablo Lopez. Like if you're only getting 5 innings out of Lopez, it doesn't sound good. Like good things won't be happening. I don't see it being 5 scoreless frames and then them being like, yeah, all right, let's get Jackson here, let's get Duran in here because we're cruising. It's more like, whoa, we're down 4-1, and we got to get him out of here and see what we can do then, how to lock that down late.
I'll take 6 or 7 good innings from Lopez. How about that?
Dude, listen, I have him in fantasy all over the place. I really do. I love him, and I loved his move here. It's been just tough to deal with right now.
Yeah.
Like that's the other thing I think a lot of people need to always keep paying attention to. Stop looking at what guys have done the entire season. You got to shrink down your sample size a little bit more now while you're looking at, you got to look at who's doing what for the month of June. Like, normally you got a lot of people who are like, yeah, I got to invest in the Rays and the Rays and the Rays. But if you look at the Rays numbers for the month of June, they're basically middle of the road, offensively speaking. They're very pedestrian. We talked about the Rays having, a very soft early schedule. June, things have, adjustments get made and, and things tighten up a little bit. So, take a look at what teams are doing, like, or players are doing for like this month. That'll kind of help you along. Also with your prop betting too. It's, got to strike while the iron's hot and stay away when it's ice cold. You'd have an amazing first 2 months, but look at Nolan Gorman, right? Amazing first 2 months of the season. And then the calendar flipped to June and he was like garbage. Like he wasn't even batting 100.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Or if you have different guys like in pitcher props, it's like, all right, their recent starts, are they being limited for their pitch count? Are they, now teams have the book on them for like young pitchers that just, maybe started out hot the first few outings. That's why, like yesterday, I bet against, for a player prop, I bet against Emmett Sheehan, but he still kind of went out there for the Dodgers and did enough there. But he's like one of the young pitchers that I'm just kind of expecting teams to start figuring him out, but it hasn't happened yet. I mean, the Rockies got a couple runs against them last night, but I think he got the win in there. The Dodgers did their part to put up a ton of run support anyway. But but to your point, for backing the Orioles here, Josh Wagner on the best bets article over on Fantasy Alarm. He's also back in the Orioles too. So I got a couple Fantasy Alarm guys going against me here. So whatever, whatever.
A big whoop. It's okay.
I mean,
I'm fine. You're like that. You're like that cartoon dog in the meme where he's just sitting there and the room's all set on fire, and you're like, "It's fine.
This is fine." Well, we'll see. Come 3 hours from now or so. If it starts out well for the Twins, we'll see. But
listen, I'm going to tell you flat out, I am rooting for you. I did not bet the game. That was just my initial take. I did not put anything on the Orioles or anything like that because I love Pablo Lopez and I would love to see him turn that corner. It's so I wasn't putting money on it. So I will root for Pablo Lopez and I will root for you to cash this bet.
No, thank you. No, I'm glad for you or for whoever I'm doing this show with and myself included to push back a little bit on someone's bets because it's not I hate to everyone just agree with yeah, I agree with that. That's right. Because we got differing opinions. We had that Verlander, opposite sides of that one. I'm sure we'll have other bets in the future where sometimes you can see both sides and make a case for it. And in some of these games, it's just, it's baseball. Anything can happen. So it's just,
Domingo Germán can throw a perfect game.
Yeah. I
After
had
getting destroyed.
In that game, I had the A's on the first 5 money line as my diamond dog pick, but that one went in the trash pretty quickly. So because Domingo Germán tried to came out and shades of name any dominant pitcher that's not a perfect game. It's just kind of crazy. Let up 7 runs the game before.
you want to know something really funny and kind of cool? Can we bring in Adam Bernard here for a second? Let's bring in Adam Bernard here for a quick second. Adam,
yes.
See, Adam was at the A's Yankees game the night before.
Yeah,
Domingo Germán threw that perfect game, right? And not only that, you're a Yankees fan. You went to an A's win too, didn't you?
Yeah, so I got to see Josh Donaldson hit a solo home run. And
former A's great.
Yeah, that was about it.
So here's the cool thing. I guess it's 11 years ago. I was at the game at Oracle Park, or what it was, AT&T Park back then. Oh, don't go anywhere, Adam. You could hang out with us. It's cool, man. It's cool. I wanted you to you and I to share that moment with each other. But I was at the Giants game the day before Matt Cain threw his perfect game.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That's a tough miss.
Right? So, it was right there. I missed the perfect game from Matt Cain. He was the game before that for that. So, I guess that's if great things or bad things happen in 3 Servo, you are due. I don't know what baseball game you're going to soon. I'm sure there's got to be a Phillies game in your future this summer, isn't there?
Well, I'll throw this out. Last year at the World Series, I went to the whole World Series Houston Astros Phillies game in Philadelphia. I don't know. I was at the game that they got no hit, team combined no hitter by the Astros. Shout out to my dad. Spent a little bit of coin on to get some tickets and
to watch yourselves get no hit.
So what it was the biggest buzzkill, and that's going to that game. Every Phillies fan will tell you, we're winning the World Series, but after that, the script just completely flipped, and there was no way we were coming back from that. So that was a tough one to be in the stadium for. So I was in the stadium for that one, which was rough.
All right. So we've all had some near misses there, right?
Yeah.
Well, you had tons of misses in yours.
There was a lot of misses in that one.
I tell you. Well, that's baseball, Susan.
Yeah. By the way, if you haven't already, go check out the Fantasy Football Draft Guide over at Fantasy Alarm.
Yeah.
New articles every single day. You can get it for free if you have that Fantasy Alarm All-Pro subscription. Use promo code Howard to get a free 7-day trial and get started on that subscription and get the
50% off your first 6 months.
Yeah, 50% off your first 6 months. And if you don't want to do that, it's only $26.99 to purchase the draft guide as well. So you can jump on that and, make that back with a few of our bets tonight or this weekend for July 4th weekend. But in the meantime, you're dominating your drafts there. But yeah, the All Pro subscription, obviously, you get all the MLB DFS playbooks that we have for tonight's slate every night. PGA, there's a UFC DFS playbook up on Fantasy Alarm. Every sport, we got WNBA most nights as well. So yeah, we got you guys covered. Let's get back to more baseball picks for tonight's slate. What's another bet you got riding tonight, Howard?
Ooh, all right. Let's see. What do I have going on tonight? Let me pull up the list here. It's not really extensive. I'm not playing heavy today. I'm having, we're doing like a big fantasy football show on Fantasy Alarm tonight. This Jim is off, so our good friend Lauren Carpenter from FTN, she's going to join. So we're going to do a lot of fantasy football stuff. So I just kept it light here for baseball. And I'm going to start it off here with something that I'm totally digging on, sort of. Take the Kansas City Royals, their team total over 3.5 runs, right? I got it for minus 125 on BetMGM. And you're like, what? You're banking on the Royals? I love Bobby Miller. Kid is an outstanding pitcher. He will be a phenomenal pitcher in the coming years. 12 earned runs in his last 2 starts. And I mean, he's just been getting, no, it might even be more than 12. He's just been getting annihilated the last two starts. And so this is kind of like a not a make or break, but I could see this is like one of those games where he's going to get hit early, hard. And then the question is, if he gives up, like, let's say he gives up 3 runs, maybe even 4 in that first inning, is he going to rebound and settle down, or is he going to get yanked and then, possibly demoted right now? So, but I think that he does. I think he settles down. I think he struggles a little bit early, maybe gives up like 2 or 3 in that first inning, but then he settles down and he throws a couple of scoreless frames, but 3.5 runs, 4 runs, basically, the Kansas City Royals against a guy who is struggling really, really hard right now. I think that's the bet I like the most. Well, next to the Texas Rangers first 5 inning on the run line.
Yeah.
I had another best bet.
The other best bet.
Right? I have multiple
the
best
Royals,
friends. Can I have multiple best bets?
The Royals run line is one I looked at. It considers their underdog, pick for the Diamond Dog segment too, because you mentioned it went through with Bobby Miller, and he's one of those young pitchers. I mentioned Emmett Sheehan, still riding a little bit high, but Bobby Miller is one of those guys that's come back down to earth a little bit. And just fading him. But the other side for the Royals, it's Alec Marsh making his debut here for the Royals.
Right, yeah. Against the
no
Dodgers
idea how
lineup.
that's going to go.
That's why I was like, if I'm going to do anything here, it's going to be the Royals and their run line, and we'll see what happens with Bobby Miller. But there was zero chance, and I think the Dodgers, I think I looked at what their team total was, and I think it was like over 5.5 was still at like minus 130 or 135 or something.
Yeah, I guess you could look at the over in this game too, but on your side, at least the team total for the Royals is a good spot to target there. All right, I'll go to my next pick here. I'm going with the Diamondbacks on the run line, plus 1.5 on the run line. It's about minus 137 on FanDuel. I got it at. On paper, this matchup favors Griffin Canning against Tommy Henry. Like, of course, just comparing them both, especially lately, Canning pitching well, Henry having some hiccups, but I just look at both these guys and I think both are capable of having a good start. Both are capable of having a little bit blow up where they'll allow 4 or 5 runs. So I kind of make that a wash, but this is more of a bet against, on the Diamondbacks offense being better than the Angels offense tonight. Even on the road, the Arizona offense has been top 5 road lineup this season, and against right-handed pitching, they're also top 5 offense in the league over the past couple of weeks. Still in that range, and on the road, I mentioned they're strong, and on the run line, Arizona on the road, 68% cover rate, which is interesting. They're a team that they might lose a game, if they're underdogs, but they're usually making it close. It's a close loss. But on the other side, the Angels offense, they're on the wrong end of their splits here against lefties lately. Over the past month, they've been a lot better against right-handed pitching as a lineup compared to lefties. So Tommy Henry, I mentioned he's been up and down, a little bit shaky, but I think I like him, a little bit more than Canning in this matchup. Just when looking at both offenses together. And then on the Angels side, just a 40% cover rate at home against the run line. So just putting that all together, I'll take the Diamondbacks on the run line, play it a little bit safe. We could go with their money line bet, but I'm just going run line.
I don't mind it, especially on the road and getting the 1.5. I'm totally into that. I'm into. No doubt about it. And listen, I think it plays it safe, right? I mean, it goes into the 9th inning and it's tied 3-3, and then it goes into the bottom of the 9th, and and Ohtani comes up and he hits a solo home run. You still win.
Yeah, exactly.
You still win.
Or the dreaded extra innings, and it's like, all right, if the Angels get a walk-off win, I'm fine with that.
Well, I mean, that's the great part about getting that 1.5. It does, the walk-off doesn't matter. Yeah, extra innings. Oh, geez, get rid of the ghost runner, for crying out loud. All right, I'm going to Seth Lugo versus Graham Ashcroft in Cincinnati at Great American Small Park. Listen, all right. I said yesterday that I was never going to bet on the Padres again. I did say that yesterday because they sucked so bad yesterday. They went up 4-0, and then they lost 5-4 to the Pirates. Yeah. I had them on the run line. I had Juan Soto over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBI, and the dude, he got one single to start off, 2 straight outs, and then 2 walks. You were like, you got to be kidding me. So I'm not technically, though, betting on the Padres here. I'm taking the over. It's 11 runs. I know it's 11 runs. It's minus 105 on Caesars. It's very close to even money on that. And I think that this is kind of where we are with this Reds team in Great American. They hit beautifully at home. The ballpark's an absolute bandbox. We saw the Braves come in, right? And that was just like bing, bing, bing. Yeah. It was crazy. So yeah, I think the Padres coming in with that stupid top heavy lineup. I still think that I honestly don't care who wins. Just give me like an 8-5 game, like Great American Small Park deserves. So over 11 runs, I got it for minus 105 on Caesars.
Yeah, that's the game that gets started up at 5:10 Eastern time. So get that pick in now. Only about a half hour till that game starts getting underway. And you and Wags are on point today with each other, because that's also makes an appearance in his best bets article today. Oh. So you guys are lockstep with some of your leans here. But yeah, the Reds offense, I can definitely get behind that against Lugo, and Ashcroft you mentioned has not been great.
No, lately. Not by any means.
All right, another pick. I'm going with Carlos Carrasco under 4.5 strikeouts. I'm picking on another Mets pitcher. I feel like I've been doing a lot this week, but listen, he's got the Brewers here, which obviously on paper this should be. Or he's got the Giants. Sorry, misread the matchup there. But the Giants too, on paper, strikes out a ton against right-handed pitching this season. But been like a matchup we like to target for strikeout props. But Carrasco just does not have the swing and miss stuff this season to get over this 4.5 strikeout prop. He's been under this, under 4 or less strikeouts in 9 of his 10 starts this season. Only 33 strikeouts in 48 innings pitched this year. His 15% strikeout rate's the lowest it's been since 2013. High walk rate is 2 this year. He's got a 7.02 ERA during the month of June. So I think just, Carrasco is being limited right now to about like 80 pitches per start lately since, he's come off the IL in May. And I think he might have a short leash again here if the Giants jump on him a little bit early. So, I like the under on Carrasco's strikeout prop here.
I totally dig this one here. I absolutely, me. I'm not a Carrasco fan by any means, and listen, I like left-handed bats for the Giants. I know Carrasco's splits right now look like he's struggling more against righties than lefties, but overall, you just look at him for his career and you know what's up. I may or may not be teasing a future pick in this, a future anti-Carrasco pick.
Okay.
If you know what I mean.
What else you got for tonight, Howard?
All right. Welcome back, Shane McClanahan. Tampa Bay visiting Seattle. I'm a little nervous. I'm not going to lie. I am definitely a little nervous about, I worry about McClanahan, middle of the back. It was muscular. I just don't want him. I'm way too invested in McClanahan. I have tickets on him for AL Cy Young Award that I got way back in February. So I just, I'm looking at that right now, and so I'm praying. However, Seattle Mariners, if McClanahan's on, I mean, the Mariners right now, it's like the 7th lowest weighted on base average against left-handed starters, like a 27% strikeout rate. And so we know that McClanahan's got that swing and miss stuff. So I'm in on that. So here you go. Seattle Mariners team total under 3.5. Again, almost for even money. I got it for -105 at BetMGM. So I'm digging on that. I think that McClanahan, if he's totally fine, if he's totally healthy, they wouldn't pitch him. Like if he was they wouldn't pitch him. It wouldn't make sense to do it, not with the way he's playing and not with the fact that they know that they're going to need him so much in the second half. So the fact that he's playing tells me that he's okay. And he's going to dominate over the Mariners tonight.
Yeah, I like that. I looked at McClanahan's strikeout prop too, because you mentioned against that matchup against the Mariners. That's 6.5, which is just kind of in that, I don't know, weird range. I could see him having 6 exactly and just kind of going under there. So I avoided it. But yeah, I think he should have the advantage here over the Mariners. So yeah, good call there. You hope.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah. All right, my last pick before we get to some Diamond Dogs and some Daily Dingers for tonight. I'm going with Luis Arias, over 1.5 total bases. He went 0 for 3 yesterday. The guy is down to 392 batting average. And we've seen this a couple times this season where he's had an 0 for game. The next game he bounces back with multi-hit efforts. I think he's going to be, he's going to be amped to get back to that 400 chase here. And it's a spot where I think he can have success at the plate because it's, we got Mike Soroka on the mound for the Braves coming back into the Braves rotation. And he made a couple starts before going back to AAA about a month ago. And they were both kind of shaky. He gave up 12 hits, 9 earned runs over those two starts. He's had some better outings in the minors lately, but I need to see it for a game or two with Soroka back in the majors to really buy in. And I think Arias, lefty on righty here for him. It's his better split this season. And I think he's gonna have a multi-hit effort or at least go over 1.5 total bases here. Betting on Arias has been pretty profitable this year, but after the 0 for 3 game yesterday, I think he's gonna bounce back.
Yeah, I'm looking at it. So, I mean, I love the bet. I really do, because here's the thing. Like when you find something in there that you do, and what I'm looking for is how many times did Luis Arias go 0 for in back-to-back games. And I'm looking at the game log right now, and there were 2 games, May 10th and May 12th, where he went 0 for, and then there was a 3-game stretch in early June that he didn't get a hit in 3 straight games. Everything else, you're 100% right. He's bounced back from his 0 for, and he's done it with a double. He's done it with 2 singles. He's done it with 3 hits. So, I did this exact same thing with Vladimir Guerrero 2 years ago. Yeah, it was 2 years ago. I did it with Vladimir Guerrero Jr., where he never went 0 for in back-to-back games. And I just pounded his total bases prop the next day after an 0 for. And I would go like multiple units on it just because he just kept doing it over and over again. So hitting that with Arias, and now that I know that you've kind of gone through that and you're playing that, I'm gonna start piggybacking on that one for sure.
Love it. Yeah, I looked at his game logs too this year because actually that 3-game streak where he went over that you mentioned, we were on this show. I think you were on with me, and I took his over total bases prop the next day on that on that fourth day, because looking back, he never had, last year he never had 4 straight games where he went 0-4. He's had those couple this year, but in other games, you don't have the numbers or the game logs in front of me, but in other games where he went 0-4, you mentioned he's gone for, it's a double or it's, a multi-hit effort. I think that game after the 3 straight hitless games, he had like a 4 or 5 hit night. He just kind of exploded back onto the scene. I think he's just a professional hitter. He's gonna find his spots here. And
professional hitter. I thought that was reserved for Matt Stairs, the ex-DH for the Royals. Matt Stairs, professional hitter.
Oh man, but yeah. So facing Soroka, I'm not scared away from that matchup until we see Soroka really string together some good outings.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to our underdog picks for tonight, our top underdog bets, plus money, some action. Let's get to our diamond dogs of the night.
I'm rounding up the diamond dogs.
Who the are the Diamond Dogs?
It's just a group of people who care, Roy. Not unlike folks at a hip-hop concert whose hands are not in the air.
All right, what's your top underdog pick tonight?
Oh, my top underdog. So you remember I was talking to you a little earlier when you were saying Carrasco under 4.5 strikeouts?
Yeah.
Give me Lamonte Wade. His total bases prop, it's over 1.5 total bases. It's plus 125 on BetMGM. Now, I was sitting there and I was looking at Lamonte Wade for what his hits plus runs plus RBI prop was, and that was at like minus 150 earlier this morning on DK. So, I get it. It's total bases and the hits plus runs plus RBI is completely different, but Lamonte Wade batting leadoff, going up against Carrasco. He's going to get the extra at-bats. He's been absolutely one of the most underrated players around. You telling me that he can't get 2 hits? You tell me he can't get a double? I defy that to happen here. Give me Lamonte Wade against Carrasco. He's terrible. Plus 125, baby.
Yeah, I like that. A fade of Carrasco is one I can favor tonight. So love that. I'm going with the Pirates money line. You saw a flash up there, plus 120 on BetMGM tonight. Similar odds around, but still they're underdogs here, even at home against the Brewers. It's Freddie Peralta on the mound for the Brewers. He's just had a shaky season, a 4.65 ERA. A 5.94 road ERA this season, so he's had some issues on the road. And the Pirates offense, been a little bit better over their past week, and against right-handed pitching over the last week, 3.28 WOBA, 2.93 batting average versus righties. The offense, they do not have Brian Reynolds in the lineup, which is something I thought might happen because he's slated to be activated off the IL, but he's not in the lineup tonight. Just looking at it now. But still, I think this Pirates lineup's just getting a little bit disrespect here against Freddie Peralta, who's just not been his dominant self this season. Very up and down, especially on the road. I mentioned. On the other side, it's Osvaldo Brito, who also a rookie pitcher, also just a little bit up and down. But he's only 3 starts. He's got a 2.96 FIP, which is encouraging compared to his 3.45 ERA this season. And the Brewers offense, we've targeted against them all season long with right-handed pitching. Sub 300 WOBA over the whole season. Over the past 2 weeks, it's also sub 300 WOBA against righties, striking out a ton. Brito has some strikeout potential, some strikeout upside here. I think he could limit this Brewers offense enough. So I like taking a chance on the Pirates. Small underdogs here on the money line.
Yeah, listen, Peralta can be he can be a little sketchy. I mean, he's had some ups and downs throughout the season. And yeah, listen, maybe the Pirates are riding a little extra high right now after coming back and beating the Padres. I mean,
Yeah.
how in the world do the Padres walk into PNC Bank Park and get swept by the Pirates? So I gotta figure that the Pirates, like, this is one of those times where, you know, they start breathing a little bit more life, and then everybody's like, oh, wait a minute, the Pirates, they were so great in the beginning, they had some struggles, so maybe they're back. They're not really back, but they could be enough here. I mean, yeah, the Brewers, very inconsistent offense. So yeah, I don't mind that one at all. Pirates riding high, sure.
Yeah,
that
come from behind win maybe has me leaning towards them more. But the other thing I didn't even mention was I mentioned the bullpen kind of situations for the Twins versus Orioles game earlier, and it's a similar thing that has me leaning towards the Pirates here because the Pirates pen's been well rested coming into tonight. They're going to have all their top guys pretty much available. The Brewers relievers, especially closer Devin Williams, have been very much taxed over the last week. And I don't think Williams is going to be available tonight because he's pitched multiple games in a row here and some of their other top relievers too. So I think that advantage, late innings, I could see the Pirates maybe coming back again like they did against the Padres.
All right, take it easy there, buddy. Still stings. I'm still sitting
some
there.
home cooking magic.
I can't believe I lost that bet yesterday. I couldn't believe it. Like that right there. I was, I think I went 3-2-1 on my best bets article over at Fantasy Alarm. And that was after starting 0-2 because the stinking Padres just screwed me over so badly. So
bad. End of the night strong. That's good stuff though. All right, let's end today strong. The show strong. Let's do our diamond or our daily dingers of tonight. Too many D's, but let's get to our home.
He'll need a rocket up his ass to catch this one. That baby is out of here.
Now that's a dinger.
Diamond Dogs and Daily Dingers with Dan Servodidio. There's a lot of D's in there, buddy.
A rocket up his ass. I love that. We'll insert into that. All right, who's your home run call tonight, Howard?
You know what? I'm doing it for you, Servo. I'm doing it for you. Give me Kyle Schwarber. It's only plus 205. It's not like a big surprise that he's, due to slap Josiah Gray upside the head. So I'm perfectly fine with Kyle Schwarber at plus 205 tonight against Gray. That should do it. That game starts up at 6 tonight. So it'll be nice and early.
That's an early one. I looked at Schwarber too because he's got some good career numbers against Josiah Gray. 385 average, and he's gone yard twice against Gray in his career. So yeah, I like that call, and I can get behind it because I'm a Phillies fan. So
thank you.
My pick to go deep, I could pick a number of Rangers. When we were going through this, when we were talking about your first 5 pick there earlier. Jonah Heim plus 400 on DraftKings. I think Ronel Blanco, he's going to give up a home run or two because he's allowed multiple home runs in 3 straight starts now, and 6 overall allowed over 4 starts since joining that Astros rotation. And Heim, he's hit 348 over the past 7 games with 2 homers. He's got 4 home runs over the past 15 games, and 10 of his 11 home runs this season have come off of right-handed pitching. So I think Heim here can get it done plus 400.
I love it, dude. Listen, I will happily take a look at that. I've kind of been a little unlucky with that middle of the Texas lineup. I do like Jonah Heim over 1.5 hits plus runs plus RBI, and then he'll miss it. And the next day I'll go with like Josh Young, and Josh Young will then miss it. So I'm gonna back off that aspect of the Rangers and with the props. So I will get that for you. I will not bet it, which will probably end up helping you hit with a Jonah Heim home run tonight.
What's ironic is that I've done the same thing with Lamonte Wade. I feel like I keep going back and forth, and when I bet him, he maybe has a little bit of down game, but then the next day I'm watching, he's going 3 for 4. So, so for you, I'm not betting it tonight. So he probably comes through tonight for you.
Sometimes the best bets are the ones you don't make.
Nope. Well, that'll do it for us here. You mentioned you got a big a SiriusXM fantasy show tonight, so tune into that 6 p.m. Eastern, right? You
Yes,
and who's your co-host again?
Lauren Carpenter. You guys know her
Awesome.
as @stepmom Lauren on the old Twitter machine. She's gonna have a new show, a new FTN show on SiriusXM on Saturday morning. So
Okay.
it's like, oh well, it's good to see the good friend of mine is finally getting her radio show. So I'm going to support her and give her a big lead in with tonight's action.
Yeah, and another lady that we love supporting, Bert Flynn here, chiming in saying, "Great show, guys!" And she's also one of your co-hosts on that Better Morning Show. If you haven't already tuned into that, it's Britt, Howard, Corey Parson, Andrew Cooper, 8 a.m. Eastern, covering all those hot topics and sports betting topics around the sports world there. So tune in every Monday through Friday, Better Morning Show on Better Sports Network. And coming up after us.
Oh, wait. There's more, Servo. There's more.
But wait, there's more.
There's more. Speaking of Britt Flynn, me, Britt Flynn, and Andrew Cooper, starting up this week between 1 and 3 p.m. Eastern, Alarm Fantasy Football with Britt Flynn, Andrew Cooper, and Howard Bender. And we're kicking off this whole 4th of July week by doing a series of fantasy football shows just to kind of get everybody primed and ready to go. Talking our draft guide. We're talking about stuff that's in the news, free articles, pay articles, everything that you could possibly need for getting set up and, to introduce the 2023 fantasy football season. So sometimes it's going to be a 1 hour show. Sometimes it's going to be a 2 hour show. Either way, Alarm Fantasy Football starting up this Monday, 1 p.m. Eastern, right here on the Better Sports Network.
Love that. Yeah, and that's for free. And while you're watching that, just follow along with that draft guide. If you haven't gotten already, jump on that too. But wait, there's more. After us, there is more for more baseball talk if you want that. MLB DFS Quick Pitch Live Show with James Grande and Justin Fensterman filling in today at 5 o'clock Eastern here on Better Sports Network. YouTube, bettersports.com, the app, wherever you're going to watch. Definitely tune into that to build some MLB DFS lineups tonight. And hopefully you're cashing some bets as well that we gave you guys out. Howard gave out a pick that's starting up in about 20 minutes here. So if you haven't, rewind it and go check out that pick for that game. But Howard, awesome joining you here on a Friday. Appreciate it, man.
Thank you so much.
Good luck, everyone. See ya.
Peace out. I heard the music. I thought we were done.
Better Sports Betting on the Better Sports Network.